Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Exodus Radio. My name is RJ Mahdi. We're going to be joined shortly by my co-host, Sister Yaa and Chief Foday of the Exodus Alliance. And today we're going to be talking about collective economics. One of the big challenges facing our people globally, not just on the continent, not just in the diaspora, but in both, is that our economic systems need to be more improved collectively. So when we talk about dependency and we talk about being in a way that is not sustainable, one of the solutions for that that has been found is collective economics, putting our money together to invest in those important resources that we need in our communities, on the continent, and around the world. So that's our topic for today. Sister Yaa is with us, Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program. What's going on, my sister?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
You know, it's another day on the continent. Beautiful, sunny, a lot of ocean breeze, a lot of beautiful views. What about in Ghana?
Man, we got election going on, waiting on the results come out. That's the biggest thing here. But yeah, still the beautiful sun, and I just went to not yesterday, but the day before, I went to the Volta. Man, absolutely breathtakingly beautiful over there. And took a boat ride on the Volta River, and I'm just, man, I can't even
I
describe. There's
saw
no
the
words
videos,
to
man.
describe the
It looks
scenery.
very serene. It looks very serene.
Yes, it was like standing in the. It was like standing in a postcard. You know what I'm saying? Like it was unbelievable.
Wow, that's what's up.
Beautiful flowers and trees and foliage and it's the fishing in the canoes and it was just and then the sun when the sun started setting and then the mountain range in the background, I was like, man, this is something else right here.
So
Yeah,
how far is that
Ghana has
from Accra? Like how far is that out?
like an hour and a half. It's not far.
Okay. Yes, we have things like that
About an
here.
hour and a half drive. Yeah.
We have things like that here in Senegal, but they are pretty distant from Dakar. We've got the Cap String mountains and waterfalls. You know, we've got Casamance, like the jungle, the green, part of Senegal, but that's on the south of Senegal, on the other side of Gambia. Here in the north of Senegal, we have Bandia Reserve, which is a closed environment safari reserve, and also we have Fathala Reserve, which is like where you get to walk with the lions and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm not. I don't know if I'm ready for that one. Walking with the lions, nah, I don't know.
Get to walk with the lions. Chief Foday is with us. What's going on, Chief?
What's up? Salute.
Man, beautiful. Everything.
I stand on the side. I look from the front. I watch all the lions. I can't do that.
Nah, you gotta come walk with the lions, Sister Yaa. Come on now.
Yeah, come get it.
Chief.
Come get it. How y'all doing?
Yeah, man.
No, not Sister Yaa. Maybe. Let me think. Maybe a elephant. Maybe a baby elephant, but not a lion.
I'm not even gonna lie. I am not an animal person. I'm a real believer in leave the animals in their environment. People stay in their environment. We shouldn't really try to do too much with the animals. So you won't really see me walking with no lions and no animals no time soon.
I like animals, man. They got all kinds of animals out here, man. I like animals.
Really?
Yeah. They got apes. They got
Me, yeah, I love them.
They call them pygmy hippopotamus. They got wildcats. They got all kind of stuff out here, man.
And these are in the wild, or do you find these like in a closed jungle environment, or are these like just kind of spread out in the wild?
Well, what happens is that they have big forest areas in the country, but now people go there to take the timber. So the animal population be scattering over into the human population, and the human population are hunters.
Wow.
So it's like, even as they chop the trees, it's like smoking somebody out, and you out there with the gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's killing our animals. It's killing our
environment.
You
know, I went to an area here in Ghana called Shah Hills. It's about 40 minutes outside of Accra. It's in the Accra region. Absolutely beautiful mountainous area. Lots of it's fertile. Still fresh. Human beings having but a lot of the wealthy politicians and the rich people are starting to buy up all the land over there, but there's a wildlife reserve right there, and we were passing through it, and I saw all these little baboon monkeys on the side of the road, and then as we were driving, and I'm seeing the cars coming, and my heart was beating like, please don't kill these damn monkeys, And then I saw a little baby one sitting in the middle of the road. I'm like, man, I want to stop this car and just shoo him out the road. You know what I mean? But my driver told me that in fact a lot of them do get killed. I think the government has to take more of initiative since they are encroaching on their habitat. I think the right thing to do is to put like big speed bumps and things like that to force people to slow down so that they don't kill them and stuff like that. But just to be able to know that you can live that close to them and see them every day, it's just so beautiful. You know what I mean?
Somebody says, greetings from the freezing weather of America. I'm living vicariously through you until I escape. I feel you.
That's my brother right there, man. Brother Yaa, how you doing, man? Salute.
Yeah, I've lived in a lot of U.S. cities, but in my last year and a half, 2 years in the States, I lived in Northeast Ohio, just outside of Cleveland, Akron, actually, home of LeBron James. And let me tell you, if the cold there doesn't completely ruin everything, it was like the biggest motivation to get out.
I swear. Hey, our ancestors must have really wanted to get the hell back to Africa, man. I'm telling you. Right. You see what happened? Took them to Nova Scotia. They was like, man, get us out of here. They went to go see. They went to Britain to the government and said, we don't want to live in Canada. Take us back to Africa because of the weather, partially.
Right. So, guys, today's topic is collective economics, and this comes.
I mean that ice and that's not for us.
What'd you say?
That ice and cold and snow, that's not Black people's natural habitat. That's not our.
Sister, y'all got a delay, guys. Y'all got to cope with her. Sister, like, you got a delay.
Do you know, I literally used to, in the wintertime, I would have a bit of a depression. Like, it was very depressing for me, even when it was changing from fall to winter and it started again, because I hate being cold. I literally hate being cold. I can take being hot, but cold is like, it's the worst thing in the world for me. You know what I mean? And I used to literally, like, in the wintertime, I get a little bit of depression, all because of weather.
You can tell that weather is not for our people.
Yeah.
We are sun people. We thrive in the sun. We thrive in a warm environment. We thrive in, around the water and the beaches. Like, that's where we do our, magnetizing.
Beauty. We like beauty.
That's when our melanin power pops out.
And the sun, what the sun does to our body, and I think a lot of our people need to start studying our body chemistry better. The sun, literally, if you're suffering from depression and you still go out in the sun and be in the sun, your mental state literally changes. There's a chemical reaction that happens with the sun and our melanin and our, you know what I'm saying? So we need sun. We absolutely need sun. Let me just somebody asked, can they buy land without being a citizen? Yes, you can. Let me just throw that out there. Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
And in fact, that land will be the basis for you applying. That land can be the basis for you applying for residency and eventually citizenship. The fact that you got the land.
Right, and this is actually a good thing. I'm glad they brought that up because here on the soil, there are different communities where you not being a citizen could play a role in how you acquire your land. So not saying that it can't be purchased, but in some places it may take a longer time. You may have to have a specific type of deed that you hold for 25 years. In some countries, it's 99 years. In other countries, and even in some situations here in Senegal, it's until you build on the land, especially when you purchase large hectareage from, the government and things like that. So there are stipulations, but make sure that you check from country to country. Remember, all of these are different countries. Myself, I'm in Senegal. Sister Yaa is in Ghana. Chief Foday is in Sierra Leone. And I'm sure there are variations in the process in each country. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, it's a little different here. I know they have freehold land property rights for the citizens. You understand? And then they have a leasehold for non-citizens. But a citizen and a non-citizen can partner up and own land. So that's how they have it here. It protects the people's land, but at the same time, it makes it to where we do have a process. You can own the land here up to 99 years on leasehold. Within that 99 years, you're going to have, 2 generations. The law's going to change, all these things. So if anything, it's best to grab it, even if it's on leasehold for now, because land prices in Africa will skyrocket over the next 100 years.
That's right. And just keep in mind,
say here in Ghana.
Go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say in Ghana, you also can have it in there that you can will it to your heirs, and then they have first option. Even when the 99 years is up, they can renew it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like anybody's ever gonna come and take it from you. When they give it to you, when the chiefs give it to you, for them, it literally is yours. Nobody has any intention of ever coming back to take it from you.
Right.
True.
And just also keep in mind, guys, and I think I hear this a lot. This is one of those things that we got to continue to dispel and, destroy these kind of stereotypes. I hear people say a lot, I'm not coming back to Africa if I can't be a citizen. If I can't get my citizenship right away, if I can't own land today, if I can't, go through these processes. People it's not a ready-made microwavable system for everybody. Remember, we're talking about countries that are most of which are younger than our parents. Okay, yeah. So let's get at it. We're talking about countries where most of these countries are younger than our parents when it comes to systems and government. So there are processes, there are delays. It's not very perfectly laid out in every scenario, but go through the processes. Apply for citizenship. Some countries you have to live here a certain amount of years, you have to contribute, you have to own a business, different things, get married, right? Have children here, own land here. There are different stipulations. Go through those processes. If you're really committed to repatriation, if you're really committed to investing in Africa for the long haul, then why the rush, right? Come on home.
Oh, yeah.
Put in your time, put in your work. If you have these kind of stipulations in your real estate contracts that say, a certain amount of years before you can own it or before you, build on it, etc., go through those processes if it's something that you're really committed to. And at least you'll have something to leave for your children, your grandchildren, etc.
Absolutely. Just to chime in on what you were saying, brother, I think it's absolutely important to remember that we, as African people from the diaspora, we're entitled to citizenship somewhere in Africa. But like you always say, Africa is not a country, not yet. We're trying to get it there.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
They're working on it, you know.
Right.
So right now we're dealing with scattered pieces, sometimes contending pieces that that breed things like xenophobia because of that socioeconomic competition. So many
Right.
populations crossing borders. Even Africans here are shifting their populations. There's migrations happening internally in Africa. People are going to the places that have development because they want a better chance. And so there's a lot of boom happening in Africa that has nothing to do with the diaspora. The diaspora has an opportunity to come and be a part of this boom. And like RJ is saying, it's not about instantaneous things. Anything you give me right away, I don't want.
Right.
I'm suspicious about. Is it real? What is this? So you know, I'm just the kind that even before I would want a citizenship, I would want to know that this is my place. I have respect here. My children will have respect here. And in the process, Yaa is always saying, research permanent residency. In Sierra Leone, you have two forms.
Yeah.
You have volunteer, like anyone out there who wants to come and volunteer with the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone. They will be able to come and we will be able to write a letter and help them to get their volunteer permit. And therefore, every year for year, the permit is like $100 for the volunteer. You can do everything except for own business, property, or vote, or stuff, or things like that. But volunteering, you can move around the country freely. And same thing with the business permit. Now, the business permit, it costs 5 times the amount of the volunteer one. But you are able to register business. You're able to do everything except for vote. You understand? And that's what the other foreigners who are not Africans that come back do. They come back and get their business residencies, and their business residency allows them to lease land. It allows them to build things in the country. It allows them to hold property in the country. And a lot of us are trying to bring our skills back, bring our networks back. Because I'm sure that RJ, man, you got a network of thousands, and you represent them here. You know, Sister Yaa got an amazing network, professionals, family, friends, business partners. Those are the values that we're bringing back to the continent, even if we're one person. We're talking about today collective economics. And that's what we're talking about, networking, making sure that the value of your experience is based on your networking. Your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth, especially in Africa. You got to hook up with the right people. So I agree. The first step to me that I always advise people, get your residency, because it's the residency that they're going to count. You're not going to count how long you had a visa, or how many times you traveled, or how much money you spent on vacation. They're going to count how many years you permanently resided in the country as a volunteer or as a business person. And when they say 15 years in Gambia, they mean you got to reside there 15 years, not you got to visit there 15 years. And so you got to change your status when you come home. And that's the best way to do it. Anybody coming to Sierra Leone, we have the connections with the immigration. We have good people, legitimate people. You get your passport or whatever you get through us with a receipt. You understand? Sometimes people will take you to an immigration place and they give you everything without a receipt. And you don't know that you've been bamboozled. So you need people on the ground that know the difference. Like we don't want to get you bamboozled. At the end of the day, if that happens and you buy land with some bamboozled documents, imagine what happens later on when someone comes and says, my ancestor owns this land. Because it happens. One of the main rumbles in Africa is over land disputes. One of the main stigmas is over land disputes because you got so many people that have been displaced over the years. And now many of them have gone out to the West and made a lot of money and ready to come back. They've been taking care of their families the best they can. And then here we come with my citizenship, with my land. It's almost rude. It's like, hold up, we ain't even eat yet. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't even had a chance to redeem ourselves yet. That's why I'm always saying it has to be a joint venture. The Africans who are living in the diaspora are fortunate. They're strategically placed. And those of us who are born in the diaspora, we don't break that barrier and unify with the Africans from the continent while we're in the diaspora, we will miss when we come home. If we don't link up with the Africans from the diaspora that have repatriated in the same way, we will miss out there. It's a combination. We got to bridge the gaps. And permanent residency is something you need. In Sierra Leone, you have to have it for 5 years based on the Constitution before you can apply for citizenship. And Sierra Leone and Liberia are the only 2 countries in the world with a Negro clause, meaning that they will not give citizenship to a Lebanese no matter how many years or how many generations of children they have here. But for us, all we have to do is come and get a permanent residency as a volunteer or a business owner in Sierra Leone for 5 years, and then we can apply.
Yeah. In Ghana, it's in the Constitution, the way it's set up, you know, through immigration, you apply for the first year. And I gotta say, Ghana is less expensive to get residency than Sierra Leone and Senegal. It's the equivalent of about $20. But what you do need is two Ghanaians with their passport, 2 Ghanaian citizens who have passport, who will go with you to immigration and basically vouch for you. They sign a bond on saying, this person is okay, that, I know them, they're good character, that type of thing. But the application itself is about 150 Ghana cedis. It's very inexpensive. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks. And then you demonstrate that you have, some resources to take care of yourself. Because the last thing they want is people coming over here and being in a bad way financially and on the streets, and we got enough of that, people begging and stuff. So they don't want foreigners coming over here doing the same thing. So you want to be in the country legally, and because there are some people, if you get in certain situations and you yourself are illegal, then you really kind of, what can you say about anything? You know what I'm saying? Because you're illegally here. You're not even supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell y'all, I know we're going to get to the topic, but I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a little anecdotal story that happened. When we went to Adome Bridge, the pictures y'all saw of us on the river. Now, why they got it set up like this, but the Ministry of Tourism, they saw that their bridge is a way for them to make money. So you have to pay a photographer at the bridge if you want to take a picture. You can't just pull out your phone and take pictures on the bridge, which I think is silly, but that's what it is. So, yeah, so I'm walking. I decided the brother I was going to see, whose restaurant is on the opposite side of the bridge. So we dropped down from the car, and we didn't take a taxi because it was just to walk across the bridge. And immigration officer, well, first the guy who is from Ministry of Tourism asked us, are you planning on taking pictures on the bridge? I already know the deal. So I was like, no, we're not taking pictures. We're just walking across to go to see my brother's place on the other side. Are you sure? I was like, I just told you we're not taking pictures. We don't even have our phones out. We're just walking across the bridge, right? Then the immigration officer comes, what's your name and your address and what do you do for a living? And I said, why? What does that have to do with me walking across this bridge? You understand what I'm saying? I don't play with them, right? So, ma'am, you see this uniform? I mean, that's my job when we see people. I said, your job is not to harass people. You know what I'm saying? Just because they have a different accent or they come from another, that's not your job. I'm walking across this bridge. I knew where it was going. It was coming down to them wanting me to give them something, which I tip or dash or whatever you want to call it when I want to. You're not going to take nothing from me. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, then this other civilian girl who's sitting there and start getting all in it, and like somebody's talking to her. This, you ain't Ghana. We have a right to listen. You don't have. First of all, you're a civilian. I'm talking to the immigration officer. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? And then I at the time I didn't have my passport or my non-citizen ID card because I'm just moving. I live here. I don't walk around with those things unless I'm going to the bank or going to conduct some business. So I just got my phone. Know what RJ was talking about, having network, having connections and all of this thing. I just politely took my phone out, called my immigration officer, And I was like, Officer Danso, I'm here at the Dome Bridge and I'm being harassed by one of your immigration, and he was like, give her the phone, right? I give her the phone, and you can tell he roasted the shit out of her ass because her face cracked like 30 different ways while he was just cracked. Her face just started cracking, right? So she didn't even say nothing. After he roasted her, just gave me my phone with this dumb, stupid. Yes. So these are the types of things, you do need. It's about relationships and who you know. All I did was just pick up the phone, and then my husband's family are high up in the military. In the police department here. So I got people in the police department. You know what I'm saying? I got high-ranking family in the police department. I got immigration officers. I got people in every. I got somebody. If you want to register a business, that's why I'm like, you want to register a business in Ghana? I got you. I got people in all these places. So it's something to be said for those of us who have built these relationships, you know what I'm saying, over the course of the years, and know these people, and they know us and know that we have good character, and we, trying to help people. And then for other people to come around and be like, oh, don't send them this, don't do that. But we're literally helping people. I just had somebody on the phone. I should hear you the message. They're coming to the guest house next week. And so it's quite a few of them. It's a family of 5. And I'm like, I gave them a deal so lovely. All I can hear the wife and the husband for, oh, thank you. They're like, Sister God, thank you.
That's right.
So because last thing, my thing is to encourage people to come and try to work with them with them what they got, but still make sure that the organization is okay. But it's not all about money all the time, and y'all act like we just out here chasing dollars, like we, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's really not like that at all. So I wanted to add that, and I know we got to get into cooperative and collective economics.
No, hey, look, you told a great story. It has great value.
That was hella relevant, though.
Yeah, very relevant, because we're talking about collective economics, and you got to have connections to do that. And in Africa, it's just like if you're from the South in America, and you move up to the East Coast, people gonna call you Dirty South. They're gonna know you from the South. They're gonna, you might be vulnerable. As soon as you start talking, oh man, what man? This from down south. You might stand out. And anytime that can happen, you might get somebody to try you. And depending on what country you go to in Africa, the police might be very sensitive towards the diaspora, and other places they might not be as sensitive to the diaspora. But typically, just like in the United States of America, the police are corrupted. The police officers, they look for ways to harass citizens and non-citizens, to put them in legal situations, and then pull money from them just to make the problem go away. So you got to watch that, and you got to move with people that can do what Sister Yaa said. I can call my husband people, like, yo, listen, they out here harassing me. I can call my immigration officer, like, yo, they harassing me out here. And as soon as they pull their rate, they go, I'm sorry. You need that protection. It's not like America, but it's the same way as when someone comes from somewhere else and goes to America. So we're talking about collective economics. Economics is not only finance, it's also human resources.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's the same here in Senegal. So getting back to collective economics, I think even this is a good thing to demonstrate that, but in the sense that we need each other, and we need each other, not just like my brother Chief said, not just for the economic side, but for everything else, for the social development, for the spiritual development, for the community development, for all of these different things. What we're seeing right now on the continent, or what I'm seeing, some of the most, productive projects and programs that are coming out of, this whole diaspora African infusion are the collaborative projects. They're the projects where, we're coming together hand in hand and saying, hey, I can bring this, and then they're developing some really dope operations. We're seeing people here on the ground touching down like fresh on the soil. They here a week, 2 weeks, and then they see different things in the community or in society here, and they're like, that they don't have that. I can invest in that. So and so's business is missing this. I could improve that for them, et cetera, et cetera. We just sat down with a brother today who owns a food packaging company. I'm not gonna go into details, but we came with a guest not too long ago. I brought a guest. We sat down in a restaurant. Let me just give you some background. We sat down in a restaurant, and the guest I was with looked over and saw this particular packaged food sitting on the counter in the restaurant. And I said, "Oh, that's a buddy of ours, a partner of ours. We actually work together on certain things, and yeah, that's his food product." And she goes, "What? Really? you know him?" And so, a little bit of time goes past, and then, the sister comes to me and says, "Well, look, I'm ready to invest in something, and I want to invest in that food company that we saw. I want to help it. I want to help it to grow. I don't know what they need. I don't know how much it's going to take, but I want to help that company." So today we literally sat down with that company, mapped out some different details on ways that they can collaborate. And this is a sister from the States, and a brother who's here, who's literally running this business, just he and his wife, just kind of doing it how they know. They've got a few grocery stores, a few restaurants that carry their product. And now here's a sister saying, "Hey, look, I got some excess funds I could put into that and turn that into something bigger. And this is about to be huge." So, these kind of collaborations, when we see them, we support them wholeheartedly. And so even our Al-Kabelan Development Group, this was always the vision for that particular program and project, because we understood collective economics. And we didn't want to do one of those type of things where it's like, hey, everybody just put their money into one pot and then everybody gets, some share, et cetera. We didn't want to step into that kind of arena. So what we've done is we've created a channel for people to actually invest in micro projects collectively. And when I say micro projects, these are not just tiny projects. They can be pretty sizable. In fact, and this is something that's good to know for those of you who are looking to do business here in Senegal. What they call an SA corporation is the highest level of business registry here in Senegal, but it allows you to carry major development projects. We're talking about building roads, bridges. We're talking about hospitals. We're talking about major construction. So I'm going to just read the business functions that are available to a SA corporation. Remember, our Al-Kabelan Development Group, for those of you who are new to what we do and new to the different organizations in the Exodus Alliance, the Al-Kabelan Development Group is a collective group made up of professionals who've all come together to put their different skills together and develop major projects on the soil, including our city of Al-Kabelan. But that business is registered and legally able to function in any of the following business activities. I'm going to read them off to you guys. And if you have skills or resources, or if you want to invest in any of these particular sectors, you can actually come on board with the Al-Kabelan Development Group, and we can help you to get into these development circles as well. All right. All services relating to the construction of buildings, earthworks, and others, including acquisition of operations, the manufacture or representation of all products and matters and processes relating to the construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of building, all management, brokerage, and property development activities, general studies and construction work in the field of civil engineering, building of state buildings, urban and rural public utility works, rural and hydraulic engineering, roads and pipelines, the acquisition, marketing, and rental of all construction materials, all handling stevedoring, representation, transit, and chartering operations for all goods, products, and materials, transportation under all forms by land, sea, and Adriatic. All right, we can start a boating company. We can bring in airlines. We can start major transportation companies, consultancy, audit, investigation, and controls, business organization, market studies, real estate expertise activity, audit, consulting, and training, assistance to companies and communities and public relations, assistance with the establishment of companies and the representation of foreign companies in any form whatsoever. The creation of a counter for the purchase of gold, silver, and precious stones. All study activities designed for the exploitation, refining, and marketing of all precious materials and minerals. The exploitation of mining sites, industrial and semi-industrial metals and precious stones. Purchase and export counter, gold, silver, precious stones, service mining research. Purchase, sale, and distribution of mining products. Mining, the lease, management of all industrial companies, the operation in general of all quarries of which the company should become owner or concessionaire, and more particularly all crushing operations directly linked to the operation of its derivatives, obtaining all concessions and exploration permits, excavation permits, and any rights related thereto, the purchase or lease of any quarry, promotion of trading, the marketing, sale, the import and export and distribution and representation of all products and goods, the acquisition of a stake of all means in all companies or companies having a similar, related, or complementary object. And generally, as a consequence of this corporate purpose, all commercial, industrial, real estate, financial, and other transactions relating directly or indirectly to this corporate purpose. Guys, that is those are the business functions legally allowable to a SA corporation in the country of Senegal. You heard right. Wow. Exploration of minerals, mining, the building of state buildings, roads, pipelines, the exportation, importation of any goods, the production or processing of any business services and development services. We're talking about the largest projects possible. Our Al-Kabalan Development Group is registered and legally able to collectively put them together. And you could be too. If you feel like you'd like to bring a project to our development group in any of those fields just mentioned, let us know. We can represent you on a large scale here in the country. If you want to be a SA Corp of your own, let us know. We can also walk you through that process and facilitate it for you as well. Keep in mind, to attain a SA Corp in Senegal, it is $20,000 US dollars. All right. So for anybody looking to invest on that level, if you'd like to hold the highest level of business corporation in this country, 20 grand is the price tag. And if you'd just like to invest, come on over to us and let us know, and we can represent you in any of those fields. All right.
Wow. Hey man, that's
awesome. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes.
This is what we do it for. We've worked really hard. We've worked really hard to be able to carry these kind of, if we can say, permissions and licensing, because we want to be able to facilitate at the best and highest level possible. There is a lot of pitfalls, and we see a lot of people fall into those, kind of walking into things blindly. So having that kind of, representation is what we need in order to build these collective projects.
No doubt. I think it's dope, man, because oftentimes we talk about the development projects, the infrastructural projects, and the imports and exports of our minerals to foreign countries. When I say foreign countries, I mean to non-African countries. And building that kind of corporation that you have already put in place, that is a vehicle that all of us who got a business ideal for Senegal can do. It's also a strategy that can be duplicated. My ideals is going all over the place when you was talking, because it's real. We have to position ourselves with the right licensing so that we can do the contracting that's really going to help us to build and sustain communities of repatriates and rebuild Africa at the end of the day. So when you say our Kibulan Development Group, you mean that, at least right there in Senegal. And I've always seen like what we're doing because look, Senegal, the Senegambia area. If you go about halfway to Ghana, you're going to meet Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Right.
And then you go all the way down Ghana, you're going to meet Sister Yaa down there. So it's like we're covering a large span and we're functioning like satellites. You know, we're functioning like satellites of a single operation. It's very powerful. Definitely congratulate you on that, man. That right there is the kind of moves that we need to be demonstrating. You understand? And when we're talking about Exodus Alliance, and we're talking about repatriation services and doing business on the continent, some people are just paying lip service. They're not really sweating for it. They're not really making money. They're just being critical. And at the end of the day, when you say, look, I got this company, I can do this, that, and I'm not a hater. Come join me and we can do it together. That's real, man. I just got to I just got to commend the way that you're moving, because some people, man, they got the egos stop them from being able to recognize greatness in others, and everybody who's coming back to the continent are not thinking exactly the same. Some of us think enough alike, because I know I don't think like RJ, I don't think like Yaa. We all got our own brains, but we think enough alike to bring forth this knowledge.
When it comes to this repatriation and trying to get our people home, we're alike. We're very much alike, and genuinely trying to, put some things in place to make it easier, because all these people, some of our people have more resources than others. The vast majority of our people just don't have, and they need somebody to create something for them, or at least let me get in where I fit in. I don't have 50,000. They might not have the 20,000 to put down like RJ did, but they might have 5 and say, okay, RJ, what can I do with this 5? With our Kibulan City. You see what I'm saying? Something like that.
And that's how we build collectively. So I mean, these are the kind of micro projects that we're building, and not just for the actual city of Al-Kabalan, but for other repatriate landing sites as well, and to where people can invest collectively in, say, one particular agribusiness or one particular transportation company or business or travel company. And so all of these things are necessary to continue to facilitate our return. It's not just about starting a business. It's not just about how much money can I make. It's literally about filling needs. And if you know anything about business, if you know anything about the wealthiest people in the world, they are as wealthy as they are because they all fill the need, right?
Yeah.
You don't just get that kind of wealth from just novelty stuff, right? So we know that we have to actually do some research to know what's needed, and then proceed to put our money together into these kind of projects. So I'm going to give you guys the top 5 most profitable businesses to start in Africa. And this is really important because when we talk about these top 5 things, we're talking about needs, and we're talking about things that are immediately available for investment. And number 5 on the list is going to be waste recycling. This is huge in Senegal. Senegal has a waste issue that's actually getting better. It's a lot better than it used to be honest. There are companies starting to come and take on different regions as their territories. But waste recycling, waste management is a huge business right now. It's not that much to get started. If it's something that you want to build or scale from a small project, we do have resources here in Senegal for those who are looking to invest in waste recycling. The number 4 thing on the list is affordable housing. Right? Affordable housing is huge right now.
Very important.
Housing is a serious issue in Ghana. They have a housing deficit. You get in. That's one of the reasons I'm like, my husband, I'm going to let you keep going. But I'm like, y'all are contractors. Y'all build houses. But we just not got to organize the whole family and the whole team under a company. You know what I'm saying? So, when,
houses.
yeah, houses. Yep.
We have a lot of friends here who are now, coming from the States, coming over here, building mini projects. You know, we don't even have to build something huge. These guys are building 15, 25 houses, flipping them, and then moving on to another project. We have one partner here who's been doing that here for actually 20 years, quietly, just coming back and forth from Atlanta to Senegal. Every time he comes, he brings 100 grand with him or so, buys him some land, and starts building some houses. And now he's got developments all over the country. And also, let's keep in mind that the standard of living is starting to rise as well. So even a lot of people here on the continent who have houses are now looking for newer, modern, standard houses. So you got people who, it's not just the people who, are coming inflowing into the country. A lot of the local people are looking for affordable, modern housing. So a huge business right now on the continent. Number 3 on the list, we just got finished talking about a minute ago, is agribusiness. And a lot of times I even put this at number 1 because people got to eat. Huge need. No matter where you go on the continent, I don't care how much research you do, just about every country on the continent is some type of food insecure. All right. So there's definitely food insecurity on the continent, and let's not even talk about the food insecurity that is experienced outside the diaspora, right? We've got huge communities of Black people in the U.S. and Brazil and other places that are also food insecure. Build agribusiness projects here on the continent right now. Not only do you have a huge booming local population, you also have a booming diaspora population that you could be feeding as well. We got to eat, folks. We got to eat. Number 2 on the list is solar power. Solar power.
Yes.
Right.
That's major.
That's what I want to get into. That's what I want to get into.
Akon said it ain't rocket science.
Yeah.
If there's anything the continent got a lot of, it's sunshine.
So it
shouldn't be
yes. Don't y'all see this beautiful tan sister y'all done got in a couple of months?
Get into the solar business, people. Look into these different polycrystalline, looks into these different technologies, get well versed on them. Right now, the best ones are coming from the Far East in Asia and China. But that doesn't mean we can't be creating these things on the soil. So let's think ahead of the game. Let's not just think like everybody else. We ain't got to be drop shipping when everybody's drop shipping. Let's go and be the producers. Let's go and be the manufacturers. So let's talk about that. How can we start producing solar energy on the continent? And we don't have to start with solar panels that power houses and buildings. We can start with small operations, solar powered cell phone chargers, solar powered yard lights, the small kind that you use decoratively, solar powered lamps and these types of things. Let's start to
lanterns,
take these things small and then let's scale them out. You never know, over the next few years, these things will be highly in demand and you could be ahead of the game. The number 1 most profitable business to start in Africa in 2020 is the automobile business.
Oh yeah.
and this is huge. I want to just stress something about this with the automobile business. All right. There are
I hope not the fossil ways, not using fossil fuel.
Right, but there are so many ways to get into the automobile business. A wise man once told me, when there's a gold rush, don't run to gold to dig for gold, sell shovels. Okay. Wow. When there's a gold rush, this free game for y'all. Don't run to dig for gold, sell shovels. Right. So when we talk about automobiles, you don't have to be importing tons of cars if you can't. But what about parts?
The parts.
What about tires? You can fill up a container of used tires, ship it to any African country, and flip it like crazy.
Oh
free
yeah.
game for y'all. right? The
Yeah.
automobile business, parts,
And parts,
accessories.
automobile parts. Yeah. For you look around, like one of the major cars everybody like to get here are Toyotas. So if you had a Toyota parts store, you're gonna be pretty well off. You know what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying?
actually go one step further, Sister Yaa, because you're right. Toyotas are very, very common here.
Yeah.
But I would say start a parts store for the cars that aren't so popular yet. A problem that we see here in Senegal is when people bring, particularly American cars, which are new here, Chevys, Fords, Chryslers, Dodges. A lot of times when those cars are missing a part, it could be a simple part, but it's very rare to have those parts here, and people have to order them from America or from abroad.
Having
So
somebody ship it.
it's like the foreign car, right? It's like when you're in America, how it is when you own a Mercedes or a Volkswagen or a Volvo, right? So it's kind of the same here. So yeah, that's free game for y'all, man. The automobile business is booming. Tens of millions of cars are flooding into Africa every day. If you go down to the port right now, there's 2 or 3 huge boats sitting there unloading hundreds and hundreds of cars. They're coming from Europe. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from America. People got to drive. That car has 6 million people. These roads stay packed every day, and it ain't slowing down. So, let's get into the transportation business.
You know, there's another business that I would like, I think is a good idea. A lot of the local farmers' biggest problem is waste. The food will spoil before it gets to the market. And so, because they don't have refrigeration. So if you go and supply refrigeration out in these small places and just charge the farmers something reasonable to store, get a big enough refrigeration where they can store things, so until it can last long enough for it to get to market. So that's an excellent business. And then another one is go to the hotels, the local hotels, and the international grocery stores, and ask them, like, what foods do you need? For example, a lot of these hotels cater to people from outside, so the foods they like to have international food. So there's some things that you can grow, you can get a farm and grow, and then package it and sell it to local hotels and to grocery stores and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had the damn this time, and I still haven't found in 2 months. I just wanted to make some tuna salad. I haven't found a jar of relish. Yeah, can somebody send Sister Yaa a jar of relish? I need some sweet relish.
Right. Shout out to
Miss
African Roots says also fishing. I can't tell you how many people come to Africa and go fishing. Fishing boats, engines, and supplies are greatly required. That is a huge one. Let me tell you something. In Senegal has the most coastline of any country in West Africa. Fishing is one of the biggest, revenue sources here. But people here still fish in old school wooden handmade canoes.
Yeah, the
canoes. Right? We're talking about 40-foot, 50-foot giant wooden handmade canoes. And recently, the government of Senegal has alluded to possibly not outlawing, regulating those boats and requiring fishermen to actually use like fiberglass boats. And so if you have,
how are they gonna afford to get those boats? How are they gonna afford to get those boats?
That was my.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Hey,
but I think what they want to do is actually focus on like smaller vessels, so not like the huge boats. But they're saying that the wooden boats are not safe. People are dying in them. They want it regulated. Also, people have been using those boats to go the back way into Europe. So it's becoming kind of an issue. So if you can bring boats, boating equipment, boating supplies, these kind of things, huge market here in Senegal and many other places in West Africa. Thanks, Miss African Roots.
Yeah. Hey,
and I'm serious. If you come into Ghana, bring me some sweet relish. I'm dead serious.
Hey, look, I wanted to add as well to another area of potential investment for us out there is in the technology. I'm talking about laptops, cell phones, this, that.
Right.
One of the first things I did when I got here, see, I'm from the streets. I'm a hustler. I know how to take a little bit and flip it up. And so when I first got here, I didn't know what business I was going to do. But my wife, she would go online and find cheap used phones and laptops and stuff like that, package them and send them over to me. And I would go to the shops in Freetown where they didn't have these kind of things, and they would buy them from me. From there, I built a small mom and pop business where it was like a bar, grill, and provision shop. So you got to know how to flip up here, just like you know how to flip up there. But that technology, also recreation. There's not a lot of recreational facilities in Sierra Leone anywhere. I know. You know, you can build a gym, and just the membership alone can bring you some resources. You know, using it as a venue. You know, venues, like owning buildings.
A lot of people go to the gym here. A lot of people go to the gym. I don't know if people realize that. And then you pay your monthly membership just like you. Yeah, a lot of people, men and women, a lot of people go to the gym. So if you get some gym equipment and open up you a little spot, just make sure you got some AC up in there, and you know people gonna come to the gym. Yeah, it's true.
And remember, guys, because we're talking about collective economics, I know some of these things to some of you may sound like I can't do that. I don't have enough money for this. This is out of my reach. This is where collective development comes in. Get together with a group of your friends, your family members. Make a pledge to put a certain amount of money aside every month into a collective pot. Get together with 10 of your family members and say, hey, every month, each of us are going to put away $100. That's $1,000 a month, and we're going to do that for a year. And when we've got $12,000, we're going to open up a fitness gym, like Sister Yaa just said. Probably cost less than that. You could ship a container for about $3,000. You can fill that container with all kinds of apparatuses, gym balls, ropes, giant tires, treadmills, whatever you want. And when you get here, you could probably lease a place, you know, for a couple $1,000 or less, right? So we're talking about 10 grand, 12 grand. You and 10 family members within a year could be business owners here on the ground, a business that could pay you that 3 or 4 times over, given the amount of time that you put in on it. So, you know, this is how collective development works. With our Exodus Repatriation and Investment Club, we have micro groups set up inside of the club. There are members who have met inside of the club, built relationships. They have common goals. They've gotten together. They say, hey, we're all going to put our money in on this. We've got a group that's working on a technology project. We've got a group that's working on an agriculture project. We've got a group that's working on a real estate, tourism, hotellery type project, etc. And these are groups with 4, 5, 6 people. Each one's putting in 5 to 10 grand, and they're actually developing major projects. And I think, like I said at the early part of the show, these are the most solid types of business structures that I'm seeing be developed. We can't do it alone. I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. I can't say you cannot do it alone. Do not come back with this individualist mentality of, I ain't messing with nobody. I'm doing my own thing. I can do it all alone.
You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out, man.
Find like minds. Connect with people who share a common goal, who have a like interest or mission. Put your monies together. Work with people you trust. First of all, work with people you trust. First of all, get contracts. Get those agreements on paper. Make sure that they're written up, so that you understand what everybody's role and what everybody's ROI, what everybody's input is, so that when that thing starts bubbling, it doesn't cave in on you because people are confused as to what they were entitled to. So let's work together.
Yeah, I told y'all before, one of the things that we did, I believe in, if somebody got something going that's already, they're showing you that they're serious, they're working their business, and they just need some capital infusion into their business to make it grow bigger, you know, and then you now sharing the profits. That's one of the things that my husband and I have done with a couple of his close friends and family members. One of them has a small scale gold mine. He needed capital infusion, so we did that. You know what I'm saying? One of them is a herbal doctor, and he already had the clinic, and it was doing well. And he opened the books up, let us look through it, and we said, okay, this is doing with a little bit of money, it can grow bigger, and so we put some money in that. So you got these different streams of income, and while I'm sitting here talking to you and doing Sankofa stuff, I got people working, doing their thing, but I'm gonna get some money from it. You see what I'm saying? So these are the types of things you have to start thinking about. You need multiple streams of income. You need to have several things going on that's bringing in some money when you're trying to live in Africa. Just, you know, I can't say that enough. You need, huh?
I was gonna say even on the sustainability aspect, you're talking about multiple streams of income. Many people who live in the diaspora once, twice, 3 times a year, them and their families do exactly what we're talking about. They will go to Salvation Armies and pull free charity stuff and load it into a container, put their money together to get it here, and then use their family connections here to sell it within various communities across the country. They distribute. And by the time that money come back, everybody has eaten. Everybody has eaten, and there's a profit. And so I be jealous. I be like, dang, man, I wish I can call 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people over there to go hit up them charities and get all that free stuff and pack it on a damn container and send it over here so me and my people can make money and eat, and you can take your profit. It's legal. It's 100% legal. It's good business every day. Like RJ said, the ports is full of stuff coming from outside of Africa. And it's absolutely correct. We have to also know the market. You got to study the market. You got to know how whatever business you will do will flip in this market, because people don't have as much money readily available, and the spending habits are different. And so absolutely. I mean, we can focus on those who are more Western exposed, but we also, the game winner, the sustainability, is when we actually connect it to the indigenous market in a way where every single day it's circulating. It's circulating among the people. It's circulating. You know, not always a shop or a specific place, but actually getting involved in the marketing in the country. Coming from the diaspora, we typically have more exposure to technology. We typically have more entrepreneurial skills. So that's why when we come, we're like, oh, I could just do this and do that and do this and do that. But the longer you're here, you realize that you can't do none of that if you don't have a strong team on the ground that's ready to work and that's competent. You know, sometimes you can't let sympathy dictate who you hire. And that can happen sometimes. You can be like, man, you know, this is my boy. He comes through, he helps me out. So now that I got a job opportunity, I'm going to give it to him. But he might not be competent enough. And we have to maintain a professional standard, even when we come back to the continent. And that's what I wanted to add to that. Everything we're saying is true.
Right.
Everything we're saying is true.
And
these things can be integrated. I mean, we can grow something here in Sierra Leone probably cheaper than we can grow it in Ghana and Senegal. And then in Senegal, maybe we can process it cheaper or get it outside to the outside world cheaper. So these are actually economies that we're able to bring into conjunction with each other. One advantage we have coming from the outside is that we don't have a political dog in the fight. We're neutral. We just want to develop. We want to live peaceful. We want to see the continent better. And with that attitude, like what RJ is doing with the Full Development Corporation, we need to really practice these models. We need to duplicate them. I would love to see an ADG down here in Sierra Leone. I would love to see an ADG out there in Ghana, and for each of us to have a strap. You understand? It would be that right there is collective economics to me, because it's not just about money making. Anybody who tells you economics is just about money making, they lying. Business itself is only one part of economics. Economics also has a social dynamic, social economics. And so when you understand that, that's what I mean by networking and making sure that you have a capacitated network. Make sure that people who are around you are quality. Make sure that they can deliver. Theft is a problem all around the world. Don't think it's just an African thing. You know, if you leave your door open with a house full of furniture and you think that somebody ain't gonna come through and take something, you just a damn fool. Don't do that. Another area to focus on is security. It's security. It's security. We have to understand being secure in Africa. What's the best way? Like me, I'm in the house by 9 o'clock most of the days because I know what goes down around 11 o'clock in Freetown. The people who are the most hungry, they've been hungry all day. They say, man, I'm going to get me some food. I'm going to go do something. So you don't want to be in the streets at night in Africa, man. Be home at a certain time. Africans wake up very early, from what I've seen, 4 or 5 o'clock, especially in Islamic countries, because they got to catch their Fajr prayer. And that means they get a whole lot out of their daylight. We're talking about bringing solar so that they can have lights even at night. You know what happens in a village when a child has to do homework or study, but they don't have electricity at their home? They can't study. They can't study. It's uncomfortable. Why would we expect greatness from African children without giving them a chance to have lights in every home? And solar can do that and make it affordable and make it profitable for those who have enough love to bring that service to people and also have enough heart to actually go into the investment. Trust is our biggest issue. We're always looking at business as something to be afraid of. But the reality is that when we set up legal and legitimate businesses and we professionalize how we operate, there's nothing to be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? There's really nothing to be afraid of. So I like to encourage everybody out there, take this show serious, see who you can link up with. Definitely get with your people who you love, who you know you can put some money together with, and start stacking up. By the time you stack up, you're going to know the different options that you can do. And you can live in America and benefit communities and families in Africa and yourself and your community in America economically. You know, politics is nothing but concentrated economics. We can't get to political unity if we can't concentrate these economics enough for us to all have a common will when it comes to what policies we want to reflect our interests anywhere in the world. So collective economics is that. It's the pathway to sovereign empowerment and self-determination. That's what I would like to say.
Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson has been screaming at us now for 30, 40 years about what we need to do. And this is what he's been telling. This is what he's been telling Black people to do. And I don't know how many of y'all watched earlier this year when he was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and those guys. And he basically said that 2020, if Black people didn't wake up and get it together before 2020 was over with, that we were done, that it's over for us. Because we're just so far behind economically. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then this COVID just it was like throwing gasoline on us. It was already smoldering. Our situation was already smoldering. And then the COVID-19 situation, it was just like gaslight, just threw gas on it. And now it's in flames. And so the only way that we're going to survive and be able to get through all of this and come out on the other side okay is we have to start practicing group economics. It's a survival thing at this point. If you don't understand that at this point, then what Dr. Claude Anderson has said is absolutely right. It's over for us. And even if you say, well, I don't, I'm not interested in what Sister Yaa, with the Sankofa Repad and or Basani. If you say that, it's okay. Get with people in your friends, your families. Get with those people. That's who you feel better with. I just want you to practice group economics with somebody. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? I don't get it. It don't have to be me. That's my thing. But do it with somebody. Get with your brothers, sisters, cousins. I read an article, I think it was last year or early this year. Some brothers did exactly what I think it was in Philly. Exactly what RJ said. They had every pay period. They put in some money. They did that for a period of time, and then they were able to start buying real estate and flipping real estate. You understand? So it was like five brothers got together and started doing that. That is how you're going to come out of this. Just because working on your job now, you don't even hardly have a job. You don't even know really if your job is going to be there. You don't know if these people are going to tell you in order to keep your job that you got to go take this COVID-19 vaccine that don't nobody want to take. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. So you got to have some other things going on. And the best way to get those other things,
so you got to have some.
What'd you say, brother?
So you got to have some income. You got to have income.
Yeah,
you're right.
Just start talking with your family members.
It's getting tight. Even if you backtrack back to early 2000s when they had the subprime mortgage, crisis. That crisis right there. I mean, it depleted more African American wealth than any other time in history, just in a matter of a few months.
Yeah.
And COVID is reminding me of that because it has the economy at a standstill and it's actually controlling the way people go about making money. Their movements. Once you can control people's movements, you frustrate the way that they can make money. And so I think it's definitely ideal for people over there, especially who are strictly into business. Even if it's not a Pan-African thing, even if you don't want to come here, you don't want to be here, even as a business person, it makes sense as an entrepreneur with venturing capital and a team to get involved in Africa. That's why everyone else is doing it. That's why the biggest Asian companies have their bases here. That's why the biggest Russian companies have their bases here.
Yeah.
This is why the Asian population that's running from the same kind of economic crunch are coming here. This is why. And so I just don't want to see our people miss because we're still dealing with some Willie Lynchism or some backwards kind of fear. The fear is unfounded. It's unfounded. It's clearly unfounded. We just have to collectivize and manifest. Kwanzaa is coming up. It's really a time to reflect on our principal values, whether you are Muslim or Christian, whether you practice Kwanzaa or not. The purpose for the celebration is so that we can have a constant reinforcement of the basic ideals. Ujima. You know what I mean? We have to collectivize and know that we're not inventing something. This is not something that we have never done before. This is why we can talk about Black Wall Streets. This is why we can talk about the economic development of African people formerly enslaved during the Black Reconstruction era of the South. We've always been about our economics, but the more that we have been absorbed into their labor pool, the more we have become more individualistic. And so we really got to pull out of that, stop seeking employment, and pursue entrepreneurship. And Africa is ours. Africa is the place that we're not out of place. And we have the most responsibility to partner with the indigenous, with the natives, our brothers and sisters who's already here. And we got the advantage because of that. The white man got the advantage in Europe when he go there from Britain, when he goes there from America, because that's where he's from. That's his racial homeland. We have the same advantage here, and we really need to take advantage of it, especially because look what's happening to us. Look what's happening to our babies. Like when you look at the way things were 20 years ago, and you see the way that they are now, it's fearful to think about what 2040 is going to be if we don't intervene and get serious about taking care of ourselves. This is why it's so important for us to echo and remember and remind the African population of the words and the work of Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Community Leagues. It's so important right now, 100 years later, for us to understand that that's what we're missing. We're missing that kind of machinery where we can pull different communities together politically, socially, and economically under one umbrella and begin to collectivize our education, collectivize our business, collectivize everything about our basic living that cuts across our diversity. That universal approach. And if we don't take it today, sis, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's really a wrap if we don't take it today.
Yeah. Well, that's what Dr. Paul said. He said it's over for us, really. There's a sister, Shirley, that said, "What about people who may not have the money but have skills?" Well, sweat equity has value. I'll just, for example, you may know how to make solar panels. That may be your skill. That may, then somebody else may have money, but they don't know how to make solar panels. You see what I'm saying? So now you two got something that each person needs. You see, so there is something to be said about sweat equity, but you still got to get with people who have the financial resources.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to
go ahead, brother.
That the majority of the investment circles and micro groups that we see are actually built like that. You'll find that if there are 5 people, perhaps 2 or 3 or 4 of the people have the financial input, and 1 or 2 or a few of the people have a skill set that they're inputting, or time that they're sacrificing for this particular investment project. So if you get with the right circles, even if you don't have the capital to invest, you can say, "Hey, look, I want to be a partner of this circle. I don't have the capital input, but perhaps I'll put in 3 days a week working for this particular operation, or I'll use my professional skills in legal or in finance or in distribution or in these different fields to contribute to the project." That is needed. And in addition to that, even if you are coming to the project, let's say just a little while ago, I announced a lot of really high level projects that we can facilitate through the Yaa Cable Development Group. Even if some of those projects you don't have the funding, these are projects that can be funded by major development banks. Here in Senegal, we have a major agricultural development bank that gives funding for agro projects. There are real estate development banks. This is what they specialize in. They don't even give loans or finance for anything else. What they specialize in is a specific field. So again, if you can put that project together, if you can draw up the business plan, if you can put together the presentation, if you can bring in all the different people involved, you could then step to a possible development bank that can say, "Hey, here's the funds for you to go ahead and go into business." And make, obviously there's some startup funds necessary. There's going to be some funds necessary to even get that process rolling. But at least it's something that perhaps you can do over time. Maybe you don't have to put up a lump sum up front. So investigate, research different opportunities and different angles. Remember what I said, guys. When there's a gold rush, you don't have to dig for gold. Sell shovels. Right? And even maybe that guy selling shovels didn't have to put up any of his money.
Value added.
He went to somebody he went to a distributor, manufacturer who's making shovels for $3 a piece. He told that guy, "Hey, give me 100 of them on consignment. I'm gonna stand out here and sell them at $5 or $6 a piece. When I sell them, I'm coming back to re-up." Come on, guys. We all know the game. This is you know what I mean? This is like bottom level. This is where it starts. Those kind of operations can be started very easily if you know the right people, if you have the right resources and connections to get into these different fields. So again, work with people you trust, put your money together, put your skills together. It can work very well either way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just watching a YouTube video the other day, and it was talking about how during like the Bronze Age, the age where the highest technology available on Earth was made of bronze. This is before iron. That majority of African societies, they basically skipped that age. You don't find a bunch of bronze left behind. But when the Iron Age came, it emerged independently in the most remote part of Africa. So it didn't come from the iron developed in other parts. We independently developed iron without going through the Bronze Age with the rest of the world. And so that's what we're attempting to do now, because we've been enslaved and captive to an economy, a global economy that we have no control and no ownership of. And that's what would have happened if we was during the Bronze Age, but we didn't have no bronze. We didn't have the technology. But now we're entering the same thing like the Iron Age. Whereas even though Africa has not developed industrially, technologically, the way that the rest of the continents on the earth has been able to. We know why that is. It's not because of slowness on our part, or we're just half monkeys, or we're just slow. We know it's not that. We know it's because of oppression, exploitation, and genocide. That's the reason why Africa is behind right now, because everywhere we've gone, we've contributed to the development of those places. And so we understand that. So
exactly, that's what I was. And the technology and the science comes from the mind of the African people. It's just not to our benefit.
Absolutely. And the thing is that it might be coming from the diaspora, because the diaspora got more access to the science, to the more exposure. Whereas we got to turn it back and make sure more people on the continent get the same equal exposure, so they can start innovating and inventing along with the black minds that's out there in the diaspora. I just seen today that there's a brother here in Sierra Leone. He's 24 years old. He just invented a car that runs off water in Sierra Leone. He's not a student. He's not a doctor. He's nothing. He's just a normal brother who loves what he does. There's another brother who makes airplane. He made an airplane. He made a damn airplane. He flew his airplane from Freetown to Lungate. And he goes to the government all the time saying, hey man, invest in me. Set up a laboratory, set up something for me. And so there are geniuses in Africa. That's another area to invest, and agricultural machines. I have a brother here who develops agricultural machines that produce palm wine or palm oil, what we would call palm oil. Everybody needs it in the region to cook their food. But here, palm trees are in abundance and the people actually live off of it. And so these are some of the things we can grab and develop into biofuel and different things like that if we have the scientific resources and investors, people who want to see Africa produce for itself. So absolutely, man, I'm telling you, here is the greatest opportunity on earth for all people. And it seems like everybody knows that but us.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up that brother that made that car, because it's a lot. We see it all the time, all over social media and the news. These young, highly intelligent African people creating things, inventing things, and all they need really, those are the type of people that a light bulb should come on in somebody's head and say, let me find that young man. Let us go find this one and invest in him and
nine
create.
Times out of 10, it'll be the big tech giants that'll go and swoop these people up. So and then the next thing we know, we're all complaining because that guy has now taken a contract with Google or Microsoft.
Exactly.
Or, one of these folks. We're all saying, oh, why did he take that?
Oh, he's a coon.
You didn't invest.
He's a sellout. He's a coon. He's a sellout.
Let's monetize that idea. So let's take advantage of getting in where we can actually intercept those kind of brain drains, because really that's what it is. The rest of the world is draining the continent of its brightest minds, of its thinkers. If you're a high caliber thinker, if you're an academic, or if you have some type of specialized invention or skill, the rest of the world is going to come and steal you from here. That's what's happening, right? We see it all the time. We're talking to young people all the time who have these incredible ideas. They're very bright, they're very smart, they're very business savvy. And, before you know it, the only opportunity that they have is, I'm going to go to Europe and chase this opportunity. Or I'm trying to get to Canada because this school is going to give me a scholarship. Or I'm trying to go to America because I think, I can get my business started there. So this is what's happening. They're taking opportunities outside the continent because opportunities are not coming to them. And if they do come, they're coming from the hands of others. So we need to be coming and saying, hey, let me invest in you. Just like I mentioned earlier in the program, an American sister just came here, saw a product that's being created by a local brother and said, I want to invest in that. All right. It's good. It's tasty. The quality is great. Maybe the packaging could improve. Maybe the machineries or materials to expand it and scale it can improve. But this is a African-owned business right here on the ground and a diaspora returnee coming and saying, let's work together to build this thing. Now this brother doesn't have to go to Europe to get funding. Now he doesn't have to go to, you know, to the white people and say, help me grow my business. He's got a sister, right? That's coming back and saying, hey, look, let me help you grow that. That is collective economics. It doesn't have to be super difficult. It doesn't have to be so, I think people...
Huge. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like, you know, you got to come with 50, 60,000, 100,000. It doesn't have to be. That's the beauty about Africa. You really can get something going for, you know, a fraction of what it would cost you to do it in the United States. And particularly if you partner with a local person, you know what I'm saying? And build it up, infuse, you know, some, a little bit of money in it and to build that thing up. And next thing you know, Akon said it. Where else can a black man go in this world and bring a little bit of money, start a business, and in 3 to 5 years, you Fortune 500? You can literally do that in Africa. You literally can do that.
That's serious. That's serious. And I think one thing also that we need to stress is, and we talked earlier in the program about getting your residency and citizenship. One thing I would like to suggest to everybody out there is register your businesses here. Register your businesses here on the ground. You know, when we talk about what we're doing in the whole scope of this exodus, it's not just our physical exodus from the West. We also have to exodus our assets from the West. We also have to exodus our organizations, our companies, our formations from the West. And you can have those there as well. It is perfectly legal for you to own a business in America and own a business somewhere else in the world. Right? So take advantage of that.
Listen, if you got kids that are in college age.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I'll come back in.
I was going to say, when you register a business here on the ground, you know, that
go ahead, RJ.
Country that you registered it in. Number one, that registration fee you pay. It may seem simple, but that's money that goes into the government administrations to improve their quality of service, to pay their staff, to pay actual Black African people in Black African communities. When you pay your taxes on that business, you're paying them to the country that the business is registered in. Those taxes are needed to build roads and infrastructure and schools and hospitals. When we come back and we complain and we say the hospitals is not, you know, as good as they could be, the roads are terrible here and there, think about the fact that you are still sending your money back to the other country, right? When in fact, whatever you make here should stay here and should be invested here so that the taxes and the benefits of it can be invested here. Let me give you another example. Some of the banks here, you can walk into some of the biggest brand bank branches here and say, hey, let me take out $10,000 for whatever. You could be going to buy a car, a house, whatever. And they can literally tell you, we don't got that much cash here. They might literally tell you, come back on Monday. We got to put in an order for that much cash, right? So that is another example saying that there's not enough economic flow here. Sit your money in a bank here.
Start bank here. We need to start bank our own money over here. That's another business.
Exactly.
We need financial for ourselves.
And if not full banks, just financial institutions like your transfer,
microfinance.
Right. You know, now they're doing mobile money all over the
credit union. You can start your own credit union here.
Right. Exactly. Even the money transfer places like Western Union and all this. If you look, all the Indians, all the Lebanese, they run them things. They control the finance. They control the currency in the country. They make sure that
are very inexpensive to start here. You can start a mobile money transfer office here in Senegal for less than $500.
See?
Like to literally be able to take transactions for people and send them elsewhere. And you get a percentage of every transaction. So for instance, how mobile money works is something like Cash App, but you have to go to a location to load your app.
Yeah.
So I
It's the
walk
same
into
way
a
here.
store. I say I want to put $100 on my. Here they have Orange Money, they have Worry,
Orange Money,
they have all these different little apps, right?
Yeah.
When you put that $100 onto your app, the store, the person that you put it with to put it on your app, they take a fee. It can be 5%, 3%, 10%, depends on the different companies. But these businesses are all over. These are everywhere. This is like
they boom.
They are.
Just because it's easy to start. It's very simple. All you have to have is a computer or internet connection. Really, sometimes you don't even have to have a computer. You could do this on a tablet or a cell phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And literally be
I see them. They just have their phones. They have their phones. Yeah.
Yeah. Very inexpensive
I
to
didn't
start.
know. Yeah. You guys, this is another thing. Your kids, you want to send your kids. So Africa got some really good universities. You can send your kids to college for a fraction. You ain't got to go in debt. You know what I'm saying? Trying to come up with $20,000, $30,000 for 1 year of school and getting loans and all that. I know that's what I'm saying. That's on the low end.
Right.
You get your kids over here in university, a fraction of that for a very good education. You understand what I'm saying?
Sometimes less than you pay for a month's rent, you could pay for your child.
That's what I'm saying. These are the things that people are not thinking about. And then to put them, they have where the kids live. Then when they go to school, in the States we have what's called dormitory. Over here they call them hostels, and they're very inexpensive. And your kids can come out of school with a degree from a well-respected, very excellent university, and you're not in debt.
That's right.
That's right. You have a place here. You have a university here called Njala. Njala University is located in Bo, in the south of the country, and they have the best like agricultural educational program in the country. The thing about it is that they focus on modern and traditional methods and knowledge, and this is a tropical area, so they focus on tropical agriculture. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who comes from Colombia in the diaspora could come here and get advanced education in tropical agriculture, and they might not be able to get it where they're from. And so you're right, the education is major, especially for educators. Sometimes we have people who are ready to teach, but in America, it just ain't worth it. And most people who want to teach, it's not even about the money first, it's about the students. And so when you got good students that really want to increase the human value of their students, the teachers, Africa is a place where you will be rewarded. Like me, for instance, in America, I did a lot of youth outreach. I did a lot of like even gang intervention. You understand? Coming from the streets, I got picked on to be the one to try to stop the problems. So I was like, F it. I'm going to intervene. I'm going to talk to the guys who I know and see if I can make them piece it out. So it's kind of like the same way here. The teachers, if you come here and you teach, the same way I got a reward from intervening and helping the youth in America, when I came here and did it, the reward is a lot different because the people here actually need it in a different kind of way, and they respond to it in a different. They take it in a different kind of way here, and it's like. The way that they want to consume what we have to give is like someone who has been hungry for years, and now they get an opportunity to eat at a buffet, all you can eat. It's like that in terms of the knowledge exchange. There's so much information that once they have the knowledge, they say, oh, and then they come back with a different idea. You say, wow, so you just didn't know that. That was it. If we just talk more to each other, we can exchange more information, more ideas with each other, then we're going to be inventing new ideas that's going to actually revolutionize our economic situation and restore political justice, because political injustice comes when you have a small elite, a group of people that have the dominant skills. If we are going to block this brain drain, then that means we want to actually make sure that the mass population has access to the skills and not just the elites. So that will create a better political situation in the country, where you have more people who have their business, more entrepreneurs, where you have more people who actually understand their history and their culture, and things like that with international support and connections. When the masses are stronger, the whole continent will be stronger. And so I completely agree with that. There's a lot of people who do these money transactions here on the phones, on the laptops, and it might not be a lot of money, but if you think about it, if you invest enough, you're going to always have a constant flow of money. You know, and it has nothing to do with America, it being a completely other country, and it's something that we can actually build franchises of. It's not. It don't have to be something that every individual got their own. We can centralize and brand and market and distribute together and make it easy as possible for others to invest or come on board as salespeople. So we got to revisit that ADG, bro. ADG is already a platform for even me here in Sierra Leone to say, bro, how can I invest in Senegal? You know, we're talking about investment teams. We need to organize them. We need, hey, look, this is an investment. We're calling for 10 people with this much, and this is the projections. You know, those business tours that you do in Senegal, that's why the sister is able to actually make a business partner with a native. That's why we're saying the services that we're providing is not for us. The services that we're providing is so that that can happen for them kind of people. So that brother who's struggling for someone to invest in him don't gotta jump. He don't gotta commit racial treason just to be able to have a business partner that can increase his overall profits and make his brand better. That's powerful, man. And seeing is believing when it comes to investment. You can talk all you want, but people want to see it. People want to see the opportunities.
Yeah, I got tonight, when we finish this call, guess what? I have a call. A sister called me from the States and was like, listen, this is what I'm trying to invest in. It was agriculture. And do you have any connection with somebody in land? I said, look, let me call this brother I know got this much land, and he's looking for somebody to do something with. So we're having a call tonight, and I'm bringing those two people together. These are the types of things that we are trying to do. And, you know, and so you really, I can't say this enough. When people are talking down on what we're trying to do, and all we trying to do is help people like y'all, it's a terrible thing. And then for those people to be our own people. You see what I'm saying? It's terrible. So what I'm saying is you do need somebody like Chief, somebody like RJ, somebody like Sister Yaa, you know, in these places, so that when you say, Sister Yaa, I want to invest in this, do you know somebody? Guess what, Sister Yaa, I'll get to thinking, who do I know? Who will be a good connection? Who's trustworthy? Who you know, what's a good partner for you?
That's right.
There's right. Something to be said for that. That's a need. And when people tell you, oh, you don't need them, you could go do it on your own. Then when all your money gone because somebody done scammed you, then you out here looking crazy.
And a lot of times, it don't even be a scam. A lot of times, it don't even be a scam. It just be the fact that you didn't know what you was doing. You didn't know the proper path to take. You didn't know the proper people to get in bed with, and that alone can lose you thousands, maybe tens of thousands, depending on the project. A lot of times, it's not a scam. I'm just be really blunt. We see it all the time.
Right.
A lot of times, not a scam.
That's true.
It could be somebody. It could literally be somebody who doesn't have the skills to run the business. Right. He might have the best intentions.
You just got in there.
He didn't know. He don't know what he was doing.
No, that's flawed. Hey, bro. Believe it or not, right? You have a for-profit sector of the economy, and you have a non-for-profit sector of the economy. We talk about economics. And me personally, I'm a passionate social entrepreneur. I like to make it holistic. I like to make sure that if I go into business, yes, I benefit, my family benefits, my community benefits, but it also benefits society as a whole. I have to make sure that what I invest in is going to benefit society. That is not something that's going to poison or take away from society. Yeah. And so social economics or social entrepreneurship, we also focus on human capital and social capital. So some of us are focusing on financial capital and financial resources and businesses, but on the flip side, we have to make the distinction between investing in business and donating to organizations. And both are legal and legit. Some of us, like me, like myself, I do a lot of fundraising. I have to say, hey guys, look, we got this thing coming up. I don't have the money, but this is how it's going to develop. And then it's my responsibility to showcase, to make sure that you see it going down, that it's transparent, you see the budgeting, you see everything. And we operate like that. And so I want people to really out there who's hearing this to really understand that when you donate, you are giving. And before you donate, make sure that it's an organization that you have been convinced actually do what they're saying they do. That you see the receipts, that you can go and see video, you can go to their website, you can go call other people and they're going to tell you, yes, them people for real. Make sure you're dealing with credible people. It's very important because some people don't understand the difference and some people are actually organizing but pushing it like business and people are being confused. As an organizer, my main interest here is to help facilitate social economic developments, and that is a big business as well. There's a lot of resources in the nonprofit sector, a lot of things that we need on the ground to empower everything we're doing. We're able to get those things materially and financially through a nonprofit basis. At the same time, while you're building your business, you also have tax. You also have tax. In America, we give
time is coming up.
Yes, we give taxes away that we could donate to a legitimate organization in Africa and then come to Africa and meet the benefits of the reward. As opposed to if you know that you got some money, they might take $100,000 in taxes from you every year. You're not going to break that down and give to various nonprofit organizations that actually practice social entrepreneurship, where people are actually learning at the same time and being empowered with employment at the same time, and in a place where you hopefully want to be able to go. Like Sister Yaa is saying, Brother RJ, register your business here. Even here, they have corporate social responsibility. When we need help, we go to AfriCell, we go to the banks, and say, hey man, you know, we have this going on, if you can donate. You know, most of the people who's doing this humanitarian work ain't rich people. We rely on philanthropists. We rely on people who have the heart and the trust to give to the people and wait for it to come to fruition. And so that is a whole nother thing. I just want to put it out there because some people get it confused. They think we're all business people, but they don't understand that business is diverse. It's not just buy and sell or just make money. It's so much more than that. We want to be responsible business partners to everybody we deal with, and that responsibility can be shared also in the social corporate responsibility. We want to do business in terms of agriculture, but some of the markets aren't up to par. Me and RJ was just talking about this not long ago. For those of us who are engineers and know how to build structures, we can easily develop a system of markets that we can own and manage and operate to help facilitate training people in entrepreneurship, making money, providing safer places to buy food in Africa. We got the best food, but the food is not always presented in the best conditions. And like Sister Yaa said, refrigeration, that's big, especially when you have fishing. From Senegal all the way down to Liberia, they have more rivers that empty out into the Atlantic Ocean than anywhere else in Africa. That needs to be understood that our people were already riverine people. They already had societies based on fishing and long trade, long-term trade routes based on the water. Seafaring people like the Kru people of Liberia and Sierra Leone. People who actually built society before there was a European step foot here to take anybody away. And so we already have the infrastructure, we already have the geography, the geographic situation to invest wisely in the communities where our people live. And I always say that for-profit and non-profit goes hand in hand. Just like when you're fighting, you lead with your weak hand. You know, you lead with your non-profit because our people, we just bashful about giving to the cause. And then you keep that economic power behind here. That's that knockout. You keep that business behind here. So you lead, you jab them with the non-profit. And when you see the opportunity to knock them out, you hit them over. You knock them with the right. And so it's the same kind of strategy. We have to also be talking about
Marcus Garvey.
In both ways.
I was just gonna say, a lot of people don't know Marcus Garvey. The UNIACL, one was for profit and one was non-profit.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely.
He had both.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Even that is collective economics.
Absolutely.
Businesses work hand in hand
Yeah.
with nonprofits. These are how the major structures are set up in pretty much every society. You have those organizations that have to provide a social, responsible type of service, and they do that through nonprofits. But those nonprofits also partner with businesses, private businesses, institutions in those same markets to achieve various goals. So we have to understand how these kind of things work. It's not to try and change any one perspective, business route or strategy, but to find ways to work collectively. How do we complement each other? This Exodus Alliance is an example of collective economics. For those who don't know how we came together, I'm still hearing, what is the Exodus Alliance, and are you guys a company, etc.? No, the Exodus Alliance is a collective economic developing body. We are 6 separate organizations that are in 6 different cities and locations around the world and on the continent. But we all have a vision and a mission to improve the quality of service for repatriation abroad and at home. So we all came together. The UNIACL is a 100-year-old organization. Nobody else in this alliance runs or leads or manages that. They have their organization. The State of the African Diaspora is a standalone organization building the 6th region government for our diaspora. They too have an interest in making sure that the safe repatriation of the diaspora is achieved. All right, these are the people who are literally tasked with the representation of 350 million diaspora around the world, right? So of course their interest and their attention, their focus is making sure that if any of us want to come back to the continent, we have everything we need to do it. That's their focus. You have Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program, which is a standalone organization that is raising funds for the assistance of those who cannot do it themselves. This is specifically why Sankofa was brought into this organization, because even for me, as another organization owner, we have services that we sell, but we also find that a lot of people come to us and say, just like somebody said on this call a little while ago, what about me? I don't have money, but I've got skills. People come to us and say that. So we said, hey, look, Sankofa is raising money so that those who cannot afford it can have the funds to come back and be sustainable. So let's bring them into the alliance specifically to assist those who cannot do it themselves.
That's right.
This is a standalone organization that provides a specific service and benefit to our people, and that's why Sankofa is in the Exodus Alliance. Basani, Black Star Action Network International in Sierra Leone, has been there for years, providing ground support and grassroots project support for years in communities. Their experience is valuable. Their strategies are obviously working because this brother and his family has been able to live there this many years and be successful. Their reputations are great. People appreciate what they're doing. Not only our people from the diaspora, but the local people work with them and accept them and give them their props and their cosign. So these are people that are necessary in a body like this. Our Made in Africa project provides a variety of services to connect the diaspora with Africa, whether it be in export and trade, whether it be in tourism, whether it be in development. But additionally, the Al Kabelan Development Group, which we talked about a little while ago on this call, which is an SA Corp in Senegal. I'm a member of the Al Kabelan Development Group. There are other members around the world, but that specific organization is specifically for collective development projects that complement and support repatriates on the continent. That's specifically what it's for. to build, number one, a city, a 600-hectare city here in Senegal for the repatriation of diaspora. That's about 1,200 acres. Everything is included in that city's development plan. There is a 100-year development plan, a plan that includes agriculture, that includes tourism, education, medical, city administrations, utilities, real estate development, amusement parks, everything. Everything that we need to operate and sustain, it's built into that project with input from dozens of other people around the world, all of which are skilled highly in their fields. And so that SA Corporation is one that can be used for those of you who come in as partners or members, et cetera, to build out micro projects on the ground. If you want to invest in infrastructure, in roads, if you want to go out and get some government contracts to build pipelines or mining sites or these other kind of great development projects, we built out that Al Line Development Group, got it licensed, certified to carry these kind of large projects, just so that our brothers and sisters who are interested can have that as a resource. So these 6 organizations in the Exodus Alliance, again, we're not all one company. We're not all, on some single tidal wave together. Everybody has their own organizations. Everybody is a leader in their own right. Everybody here is credible and accounted for and respectable. And so together, we've all put our hands together to say we're going to work together, our organizations, right, to raise the amount of funds necessary to support
RJ,
diaspora.
I want.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I just want to say I remember when I started coming to Ghana. When I started coming over a decade ago, one of the things that people complained about was that there's nothing in place to assist people who are coming. Because when I was coming, it was so many people that were coming, they were trying their hand, they weren't making it, and they would have to leave and go back, and it was just, there was no support system in place to provide assistance to people. So now here, and then we would always be complaining amongst ourselves why, some people been here 30, 40 years, they haven't put anything in place to help people come home, So after a while, it became, okay, we can sit around and keep saying, why hasn't anybody done anything? Why hasn't anybody created anything? Or we could just create something to help people, to provide assistance and to do these things.
I mean, we got to hold ourselves accountable.
And then as soon as we do it, exactly. And then for us to put ourselves out there and say, okay, we're gonna be those people. We're going to be the generation of people that's going to create something to help people. And then people attack you while you're trying to help people, your own people, or try to discredit you, tell lies about you, while you're trying to help your own people. All you're trying to, you see what I'm saying? So it's but at the end of the day,
you know what, sis? They have to tell us. Listen, they have to tell us.
It's like
they have to tell us what they have.
Marvin Gaye. It's like make me want to holler and throw up my hands. You know what I'm saying? Make me want to holler and throw up my hands. What'd you say, Chief? Right. What'd you say, Chief?
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis.
No, but seriously,
that's all I was saying. We could all go.
Right. There's always that point in time where we have to make a decision. Yeah. All right. And the decision that we make is, do we do or do we wait for somebody else to do? There's always that time in history, right? We can either act or we can sit here and we can keep wishing about what we wish was around or available. And so this generation, our people right now, we have to be doers. And I think that there's no better time than now to make sure that something is in place to support our brothers and sisters repatriating, before we make the same failures that we made in the past.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing that we always have to consider when looking to the future is the past, is history. If we want to be forward-thinking people, if we want to be visionaries, if we want to actually overcome these challenges that we've repeatedly tripped on, we have to study and understand the past so that we cannot make those same mistakes in the future. We have to understand, why did we fail in the various attempts that we've made? Why didn't Marcus Garvey make it? Why didn't Black Wall Street live on? Why didn't our efforts go with longevity in these various ways? And so when we see that, we look at that, our goal is to completely avoid those same hurdles, to do it right, to do it with a solid foundation, to do it with transparency, to do it with a variety of input, to decentralize our efforts so that we have folks and supporters and consultants and extensions around the world. These things are necessary. When you look at today's marketplace, and I'm not just talking about marketplace as in, the sale of something, but the marketplace as in the global marketplace, right? The advantage lies with those who serve a need, period, in anything. Serve a need. And the initial need right now is repatriation, connection with Africa. And I don't even want to stop at repatriation, because even there are a lot of people out there who feel like they're not ready to repatriate, but connecting with the continent, investing in the continent. We keep putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into houses and mortgages in America, only for them to be swept out from under our feet, only for them to be foreclosed on after 20 years of making payments, only for them to be, left in dilapidated neighborhoods when
only for the value of them.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The value of them it was, your house was worth $250,000 last year, and now it's worth $89,000 this year.
Right. That's exactly right. This is what we're seeing happening. So we don't want to continue to make those same mistakes. Stop putting your retirement fund into land or real estate in a country that you could lose it in a few years. Let's put it into more sustainable places. Stop putting your money in banks that's taking it from you and looking at you crazy when they crash, or when your IRAs disappear, etc. Right? Let's start doing things differently. We don't have to do everything our parents did. We don't have to do everything that society tells us we should be doing. Let's start taking alternative routes. Just like Sister Yaa said, stop putting $20,000 a year into these Eurocentric colleges in America. That's going to narrow your mentality down and whitewash you, and then steal you into their own businesses and organizations, and use you against your own people eventually, because that's kind of what happens. So let's do things differently. Let's kind of think to the future by learning from the past.
Absolutely. I would like to encourage people out there to really take the Exodus Alliance very serious. To also consider joining and supporting any of the programs. Get your membership in any of the organizations. This alliance for us is a high commitment. That's why we're here every Tuesday. It's really about having this conversation and changing the discussion around repatriation, and really being able to safeguard everyone's intentions and their investments. So again, RJ, Sister Yaa, I just want to appreciate y'all. I know we about to get out of here, but appreciate y'all time. Every week, this is liberating even for me. I have an opportunity to get with y'all, bust it up. But it's even better because the people get the opportunity to tune in. And, there is a lot going on out there in the YouTube world. And in the world in general. But we're gonna keep the faith. We're gonna keep moving how we're moving because our actions speak way louder than their words. And I believe that people understand that real serious people are looking for real serious people, and we should leave the clowns in the circus and keep moving. So keep your head up down there, Sister Yaa. Don't worry about nothing anybody got to say about you. You're doing a great job. You understand? You want to continue. We got your back. And you're right. Y'all know me, man. I'm a hitter. I be ready to go. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. Like, no, sit down, bro. It's okay. It's okay. We got this. Let's just keep doing good work. But Brother RJ said, man, forget about it, man. Just look at what we've all accomplished in this last week since the last call. You know, if you go and check our social media accounts and our features from different people's places, you know, it's not even us just pushing ourselves. We're helping other people by featuring on their platforms. And the stories of the people who are absolutely benefiting from the existence of the Exodus Alliance members, particularly us three here, they are already speaking live and direct for the public, telling you what their experience is. So it's not a gimmick, but I really truly believe that we have answered the call of our people to put a system in place that will enable us to repatriate and to have the best services that we can provide to ourselves first and foremost. And that's really what Africa needs for us to do. Get ourselves together, unify, get it going. So I appreciate y'all, man. It's always a love experience, man. It's always freedom and unity with y'all. So Africa for Africans all day. It's Exodus time.
Sister Yaa,
sure is. My brothers. No, I just want to say I appreciate you, brothers, and thank y'all. Y'all know, Sister Yaa was fire hot. I was, and you know, I was ready to go find some Nigerians in Europe and send them to somebody, bust them out upside the head.
Yeah, you was about to go.
Y'all pull me on down. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, you was about to go. Yaa Asante on them, but don't worry about them Negro peons, sis. Trust me.
Right.
You know they're out there for a reason. They're out there to challenge us. You know, they're out there to challenge us. You know, sometimes you got people that's like, yo, how are they operating, but I'm not operating. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. You know, jealousy, envy, hatred. Right. And it's not even about money because I don't got money. But I be feeling the heat of jealousy like, yo, what you jealous of me for? I don't got money. I don't have education. I'm just a normal brother, man.
Well, you know what? The money that we have, the money that we...
Is that
the thing about it is the money that my husband and I do have, we literally work for it. We work for our money. You know what I'm saying? We get it. My husband works, y'all. If you knew how hard that man gets up, it's just ridiculous for somebody to, you know, say the things that they say. But what can you do? We can't stop people from talking. Apparently, we just have to keep pushing. You know, we invest and we work, and that's how we get our money.
I want to just give a shout out really quick as we close out to all of the real Pan-African content creators out there. And when everybody gets off this call, I want you guys to go and look for these people, subscribe to their channels, follow their media because it's the real media. So I want to give a huge shout out to my brother Dynast Amir. Search for Uhuru. I was on his channel about a week ago. He also flew out to Sierra.
Living my best life.
Right. Definitely got to give a big shout out to Dynast Amir.
I
want to give a shout out to the African superstar Gina Ifoe. Huge asset to the cause and the culture. I want to give a big shout out to African Diaspora News Channel. Bill Scott over at African Diaspora News. These guys have 1.2 million subscribers. Pan-African News Channel with 1.2 million subscribers. We're on their channel all the time. I was just on there a couple weeks ago. Shout out to African Diaspora News Channel. I want to give a shout out to DJ. I think Foday, we did an interview with DJ the other day. She's doing big. ES.
That's right. She's the bomb.
Yes, Eat Love Migrate. Shout out to you, sister. Who else, really quick? Who else is the real YouTubers to look out for?
Yeah.
Well, you got a few others, man. I never met them. JT, the bigger figure, man. The brother out there in
Yeah,
Burkina
and
Faso doing his thing. I forget the name of his page
living my
though.
best life.
Right, living my
Sister
best life in
Sister
Ghana.
Power
Right, right,
Teacher, they got.
right.
We out here, man. That's the whole
We
point.
out
Like
here.
it's not just us three. We out here deep, and we taking full advantage of social media. We taking full advantage of the ability to connect with the people and with each other. We trying our best, y'all. It's COVID, but look,
Right.
we still working. You
So
know
we'll
what I'm
see you
saying?
guys back here next week, same time,
Oh yeah.
live Exodus Radio, 4 p.m. GMT, 11 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. PST, right here on Africa Day News. I'm sorry, Africa Day 2020 Facebook page, and also on YouTube.
Yeah. I wanted to real quick throw out. I got a YouTube channel too, or our group does. You can check us out at Gullah House Media. A lot of the work that we're doing here in Sierra Leone to reconnect Gullahs in Sierra Leone is documented there. We're not YouTubers in the traditional sense that we just come with content, but our content will show you what we're doing here, and it may inspire you to come. So check us out at Gullah House Media.
Right. So in the words of Family First Africa Only, forward march, everybody.
Forward.
Like